You speak as though I have conquered death. I live death every day. I am surrounded by it, smothered by it. Look at you now. He would have everlasting life. You seek to defy death, yet you cannot even defy sleep. And our like sleep is to death. It is a painted death.
You think you are free, that your decisions are your own. Tell me honestly, did you really choose this path? Or was it chosen for you? Your father, with every triumph, every failure, was it not his decisions that brought you here? Has his path not sealed your own? Marked out in golden bricks below your very feet. The path is set. Keep your head up. Keep your weapon loaded. Follow the battle brick road.
Hello everybody, how are you doing? Welcome to SHANTH ENJETI Art. I myself am SHANTH ENJETI, and wow, sometimes you get a head sketch request that blows one's mind, as mine has been blown, if I can make it through that sentence. I hope everybody's having a wonderful Friday, wishing all of you a happy Veterans Day, and with much gratitude to our veterans. Thank you so much for everything that you guys have done for our country, and I appreciate you very much. I know this work would not be possible without generations of veterans defending my right to do what I'm doing right here. So thank you so much. I hope everybody's having a wonderful Friday. It is the deadline today for making sure your address for this campaign is updated for Nosfero the Cryptwalker. I have been doing head sketches. I'm working on a painted head sketch right now. This is the book, in case you were wondering. I just got in the two prints. One is the Lascivia print. The other is the cover print that everybody who backed this campaign is going to be getting. Tons of stuff happening. Let us see who we have in the chat. Where are my channel members? There we go. There he is. We have Stephen Rockwood drawing in the house. It is great to see you, my friend. I will have a great stream and have a great day at work and a happy Friday, my friend. And let's see who else we've got in this chat here. We have got 40% Zed. How are you doing, 40% Zed? We've got John in the chat. Good to see you, John. We've got Simply Green in the chat. Great to see you. We've got Hostman Socrates. My magnum opus is the Lucent painting for right now. That thing is insane. And complicated. We've got my main man, my can of spam. It's all about money. Past Master Dan, how are you doing, my friend? Thank you so much for sharing out this stream. Everybody take a minute to do so if you have not. We've got Maromi in the house. Maromi, how are you doing? It is great to see you. We've got Hazret in the house. It is great to see you, Hazret. Oh, I didn't click on it there. Let me try that one more time. There we go. And I think, you know what? The computer is conspiring against you, John. I don't know. And us. Yeah, guys, it is great to see you, Turkey. How are you doing? Eating a burger. Let me tell you something, my friend. if you're choosing to pair eating a burger with me, I take that as high praise, because I like a hamburger as much as the next man, especially if that next man is Ronald McDonald, because I do love me some burgers. So let me adjust the gamma on this just a little bit here, and then I am looking a little saturated, which I don't mind being a little bit saturated, but a little too much saturated can be a very creepy thing. So yeah, guys, so here's what we're working on today. So I got a head sketch commission from a former student of mine. I released a video earlier this morning that I recorded, oddly this morning, but at 2:45 in the morning. And this character right here is from Ultraman. And I did not know this character. I believe this character's name is Baltan, if I'm not mistaken. And it is a insanely detailed character. It is crazy. It looks like a SpongeBob. It looks like SpongeBob SquarePants merged with a horseshoe crab. I think that's the best way I could describe this character. What is up, Lloyd Burton? How are you doing? I just signed your sketch a few moments ago. We've got Michael Dicha in the chat. It is great to see you, Michael. I hope you're doing well. Oh, thank you so much, Michael. I appreciate that. Yeah, this one, if nothing else, it has got to be, has got to be on point when it comes to color, because it's a very colorful character, and it reminds me of the fact that the Japanese, when it comes to their kaiju movies and their character creation, are really swinging for the fences. And that's kind of the purpose of this piece, is to kind of, when someone commissions me to do a head sketch, especially if it's something I've never painted before, I've got to rise to the challenge and kind of bring the color to it and bring all of the, the quality that you've got to bring. What is up, Art and Times of J. Ryan? It's great to see you. Let's go, kaiju and tokusatsu fans, 100%. Yeah, everybody's saying hello, hello, hello. And Hagelman is here, my friend, in the house. Where are you? Where are you? There we go. Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot. You guys have many handles. I often forget that. And you have many options for handles, and we are grateful whenever you choose to fly in Jeti Airlines. And so, yeah, so the big thing with this piece right here is I love kaiju. I got my start in terms of building a fan base on Instagram, and then which led to the first two art books for my kaiju work. And so it's been kind of, it's a fascinating thing, because this might be, outside of Shane's Inglorious Rex, when I did a head sketch for fun on stream many moons ago, which one of you has bought and owned since then. But I'm pretty sure this is the first time I have done a kaiju painting or sketch since then. So that is a pretty wild thing. So a former student of mine, and shout out to her, backed my campaign at the head sketch level, and she said to me, and she's half Japanese, she's a big kaiju fan, big fan of Miyazaki, all of those kinds of things, and she said to me, I want you to paint this character for me. And I was like, oh yeah, and then she sent me an image of it, and I went, what in the name is this character? Like, what am I looking at? Yes, this is a lobster clawed baddie. Let me just say this. This character, Past Master Dan, this character is everything, okay? This character is everything and a bag of chips. This character is everything with a side of fries. This character is like everything. It's like if you took every character that's ever been made and you glued them together. And it is craziness. And that is just the wildness of this sort of Japanese kaiju design world. And so I've been saving this one for last, because I had to kind of figure out how to tackle it. And, for me, usually what that comes down to is just spending some time looking over the character, and then just you go for it, because that's why we have the skills. It's why we build and do what we do. And I love doing this stuff, because walking shrimp with a bad attitude, 100%. And that's the thing is so wild about this. But I want to talk a little bit too, while we work today, about something that a lot of people don't know, which was the first kaiju film, by several definitions, is an American film. And it's there's this movie called The Beast from 20,000 Fathoms that is was done by Ray Harryhausen that involved almost a similar plot structure as Godzilla. And when it was brought to Japan, what they did was they had to translate the title. And for Beast, they chose the word, or created the word, or applied it for the first time, kaiju, to that film. So, believe it or not, Ray Harryhausen has the first kaiju movie actually to use the word kaiju of record. And of course, many will say the first kaiju movie, including the reason why Godzilla, or Gojira, depending on, has the name he does, which is, it means gorilla whale. And so it's a cross from the Beast from 20,000 Fathoms and King Kong. So King Kong is our original kaiju. And so that's the thing that is kind of interesting to me when I've been researching this stuff. But I'm a big kaiju fan, and I love kaiju movies and all of that sort of stuff. So even though this seems like, wow, I usually am painting, horror stuff and monsters, if you've backed at the art book tier, when you get those art books, you're going to see there's not only a lot of monsters in the second art book, but there's a ton of kaiju in those books, because that was the thing that people kind of started to know me for. And by the way, and if you're feeling, I just got a text from my wife before I started streaming. My wife, and she told me that my daughter dropped and broke her cell phone. So feel free to send super chats if you wish. Holy cow. And I was like, oh, lordy. If you have teenagers, and you know this, you well know the sound of a cell, and frankly, if you've ever taught college, you know the sound of a cell phone hitting the ground, and then the kind of anxious waiting of is the cell phone okay, or is the device okay? Who knows? And you're absolutely right. Not surprising at all that it was Harryhausen. He is 100% a wizard. Amazing. One of my favorite character designs of all time is the Cyclops. And yeah, amen. You know. It's like that's when they see how much the money they make at their job goes, I have no idea. Guy in this room's like, does she have phone insurance? I have no idea. I haven't gotten the full scoop, because I got this right as I was about to start streaming, and I thought, oh my goodness, we'll see where this goes. We'll see where this Friday takes us. But for right now, I think it's a wonderful Friday. I started it at midnight, as I often do, and then was painting till probably about 4 in the morning. Enough time to record that video I posted this morning, just about this and style and certain things I think are conversations worth having, or thoughts worth putting out there. And I have missed painting kaiju. I'll put it that way. Oh my gosh, glad I had insurance on my iPad when I dropped it. 100%. Yeah, guys, I mean, I'm one of those people. I'm always going to buy the insurance. It'll pay for itself, particularly with computers. I mean, I do everything on this computer, and it's just, it will hold up the work for sure if something happens to it. So that's just the way that it goes, and it's craziness. But I often wonder, I've seen sketches of, the designs of these, and I've seen the influence of, Japanese prints on a lot of these designs, but I do think that that there's definitely a nature aspect to it. Like, this looks like some kind of cephalopod crab. And so what I'm doing right now is, kind of using what I know about nature and creature design, but then trying to stay true to, the character gestalt and the design, the overall gesture and form of this character. And what's wild is, if you try to make too much sense, then you're going to lose what the vitality of it, like what makes it great. Do you know what I mean? And that's the big thing. Yes, absolutely. Prayers for a cheap but complete outcome for our phone. Yes, absolutely. Much appreciated, my friend. Much appreciated. But it's wild, because, there's every single culture. When we're talking about real culture, the culture that, is great and epic and brilliant, real culture comes from, you know, the influence across cultures. And the kaiju genre is one of the most obvious examples of that. I think manga and anime is the next. And what I think we're all trying to do here in, you know, Comicsgate and, you know, anybody creating in the Iron Age is to kind of, you know, bring it one more time, like, you know, kind of get our feet under us and start making cool stuff. And I've been talking to a good friend of mine who has just updated his YouTube channel, The Groomsman, to have his name on it. Very proud of him. And so my good buddy from college and a groomsman, I was a groomsman at his wedding, Rocky Ballesteros, who is an animation veteran, worked on a ton of stuff. If you have not subscribed to his channel yet, please do. And he's been doing videos for Wednesday Comics, and him and I have been talking at all hours, texting back and forth about, you know, the possibilities here and the art. And he talks a little bit about that on his most recent video. But it's kind of an amazing thing to look at these characters and look at Nosfero. I just got the print shipment in today, so for all of the prints, I've got those in. Yeah, Island Mentality, 100%. Yeah, 100%. Interesting to see the design elements across cultures. Crab design is much more common in Japan. Yes, absolutely right. Umami. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I'm canceling the insurance on my POS of Pixel 8 Pro 7-year phone. My ass suffers a design flaw with camera lens, apparently. Well, let me just say, yeah, those are the things that are, yeah, that try men's souls, dare I say. But it's, I don't know, man. We're in this space where I think that we can be creative as we really want to be, and we just have to make sure that we, you know, are pushing it. And it's tough. It's tough to do. I think it's tough to make artwork in a vacuum, and you know, where you're not working off of somebody else's designs, and it's something that you have to kind of be up for and be ready to do. This head sketch stuff is actually the fun part, because I'm sketching something that I am certain has been drawn or painted countless times. And so this is one of those things that's kind of a joy to do, you know. I do want to see more elements of anime make their way into Western comics. Yeah, I think it's definitely happening. With a Western spin, pause before the action, for instance. Yeah, absolutely. Due diligence is annoying sometimes. Amen. So yeah, so I got 2 giant boxes of these large format postcard prints. One of them is the one that was the book plus print, and then everybody who backed the book is getting a giant large format postcard print of the cover. So that's going to be really cool to see. And they match the they have a little bit nicer of a finish, but they match the let me see if I can make that happen there. They match the trading cards, because I use the same company. So it was really cool. I had to ask them for a custom template and all that kind of thing. And so, yeah, I cannot wait. But this is pretty much the last of the painted head sketches. All of the other head sketches are either done, and I think there's the Phantoma sketch and the Laurel sketch just need a little bit more work. But I figured, you know, this is such a complicated piece right here that I had to just attack it. What's up, Scottsley? How are you doing? Happy Friday, my friend. You know, oh man, guys, it's been crazy, man. It's been crazy. I hope you are doing well. But yeah, to see all the books coming in, to see Nosfero, to have taken that trip to drop it off at the final resting place of H.P. Lovecraft, man, I could not be happier in you know, more in the zone in terms of what I'm doing, because it's the work that's taken all of this time to do, and seeing it finally realized. I mean, the amount of money it costs to produce all of this stuff, and then ordering the shipping supplies, and then the time it's going to take to ship all this stuff out. But it's a very different place to be in, and I'm sure you guys can imagine this, than when you've just illustrated a couple of pages right before you launch your campaign. I mean, you want to talk about nerve-wracking. The amount of work you have ahead of you in the best case scenario can definitely feel very daunting indeed as you stare that down. But you know, that's what we've got to do. That's the job. That's the gig. Let me see here if I can just want to soften that a little bit, because I still want to have some traces of that in there. And then I'm going to do one of my favorite things right here. Gonna mix up some complementary colors just a little bit. I always try to lean towards one side when I do a complementary color mix. So this is orange and manganese blue. And then I'm just going to wash that right in there. You can see how that comes together. So much stuff planned, guys. So much stuff planned. I cannot wait. When I get this book out and shipped to you guys, it's going to be really fun because I want to do a second chance campaign. I want to do another art book and all of that stuff. And I want to just keep pushing the boundaries. Nosfero came out so much better than I could have dreamed when I started it, and that's wonderful because I was dreaming pretty big for that book. I really wanted it to be something for you guys, and it's just beautiful, man. It's just a beautiful book, and you guys will soon be able to hold it in your hands and judge for yourselves, which is the fun part of this stuff. But yeah, just know I'm hedging no bets with it. I was all in on it. What's up, Eric Huffles? How are you doing, my friend? Great to see you, man. It's, I think you should swing for the fences in this space. I think because you can. We're free to swing for the fences. What is better than that? Yeah, I mean, it's wild to think about. And I've got a row. I don't know if I can actually. Let me take this camera off here so I can show them to you. I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's the row of head sketches and a book. And I had one of those experiences. Oh, guys, I was doing an interior ink head sketch on a book. And I was wearing the glove on one of my hands because I use a piece of paper under my hand when I'm doing the head sketch. And the book cover slipped and the pen just drew on the inside cover. And I was like, almost done with it. And I went, oh, I can't use that one. Freaking nightmare. Oh, man. What are you going to do? You have to just go for it. You have to just go for it. And so I just grabbed him. My wife goes, oh, my God, what did you do? And I was like, I just grabbed another book. And I did it again. That's what you have to do. Just let nothing stand in your way. Give nihilism no quarter. Do not quit. To be a comic book artist and to do comic book work, I know you guys know this because a lot of you guys have been here from the beginning. But it's, you guys are getting much more of a fly on the wall look at the process probably than any group of people in history. And you guys know how much work goes into it. It's the promotion, it's the streaming, it's the, coming up with the idea, the characters, the writing, the pitching it, the promoting it, the logos, just the stuff I've done on this YouTube channel is like a whole nother career that I had to learn to do. And it's great, man. It's great, but it's not for everybody. And I think it's for every audience member. But I say just enjoy it, man. Not seeing your tags if you are, just so you know, YouTube is messing with you again. Who are we talking about? Gonna steal HP's comic. Oh, do you mean me? Oh, yeah. Hey, guys. If you mean me, yes. YouTube is throttling me right now. 100%. 100%. YouTube, whatever is going on there, and I always say never attribute to malice what could be adequately explained by stupidity, but let's keep it real. Is that this YouTube has been throttling this channel for, I want to say, hard for the last maybe 3 days, I think, but mainly the last 48 hours. It's been bad. It's crazy, the shift, and that's what they do. That's what they do. It's a wild thing. Yes, indeed. I just watched the 14-minute video did on Alien Baltron. Yes, exactly. Baltan, sorry. Yes, and that's the crazy part of it, right? Is that it's fun to show you guys the process and bring you guys in. And, God, Nosfero, guys, I am so, how do I word this? I am so tired of not spoiling that book. A friend of mine, I just ordered a graphic novel of the collection of a very, very mature reader's book called Faust. It is, when I say mature readers, I mean it defines mature readers. Not for everyone at all. And I was, it was a book by an artist named Tim Vigil. And his work is mature readers 100%. And the thing that was interesting to me about it is, I was talking to my buddy Rocky last night, and I said, hey, man, I just got picked up this trade paperback. And he's like, man, I cannot deal with that trade paperback. That thing is nuts. And I was like, yep, 100%. And he said, but in a weird way, because this guy was a big influence, his art was an influence on what I do. He goes, Nosferatu is kind of like the anti-Faust. And I said, it sort of is. Yeah, it sort of is. What's up, Agent Zero? How are you doing? Welcome, my friend. And that's the crazy thing about it, man. Yeah, it absolutely, it's what was in the back of comic shops, 100%. Yeah, and I was young when I read that book. I mean, it was funny. I showed it to Mrs. Enjetti, and she was basically like going, this looks pretty much like, a 14-year-old with, what a 14-year-old with OCD would do if they let their imagination run wild, a 14-year-old boy. And I went, yeah, that's pretty much what it was. But it's a crazy book. It's wildly drawn, tons of detail. And again, not for anybody who is squeamish about really anything. It's covered in that book. But here's the funny thing about it, though. I say that, but here's what I'd also say. If you've read Berserk, it's not that wild. It's strange to contextualize everything in terms of American comics, and then I think about manga, and I have the hardcovers of Berserk up there. Let me tell you something, guys. Everything that happens in Faust is about, there's stuff in there that Faust didn't touch, man. Hey, what's up, Angela Curry? How are you doing? It is great to see you. I tip my cap to you, my lady. And that's the wild part of it, right? We used to... Thank you, Angela. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I used to think that stuff was so intense, but it was only intense in terms of American comics. I mean, hell, Berserk is nuts. And let me state, if I haven't said it once, I haven't said it twice, I haven't said it 100 times, guys, Battle Brick Road 2 by the great Eric Weathers return to the fallen utopia of Oz as Thea's mission to find her missing father grows more deadly. New characters, new adventures, all sorts of crazy things. And it's great. I love the book. And if you back on that campaign, the poster book, you are going to get the first large-scale print of my work that's ever been in any campaign, which is going to be an 11 by 17 of a pinup of the main character, Thea. And it's going to be really action-packed and great. That's all I have to say. I hope YouTube isn't using protection when throttling you that hard. Yeah, I have no idea. Yeah, it's one of those things to where, sometimes YouTube is gonna just open itself up to risks, and me. Why aren't they using protection? We have to wonder that, my friend. We have to wonder that. I love the chat, man. Oh my gosh. So let me see here. Oh yeah. So yeah, when I was working on this stuff, I think that's one of the things that that I realize is that manga is, and anime for that matter, is the opposite of universally tame. I mean, I saw horror in the... I've seen horror. Nod to Brando. But I saw horror in Attack on Titan that was just, unbelievable. It was just incredibly intense, dramatic, and visual stuff. And so sometimes I think that was a big part of me for doing Nosferatu. I don't want to do... Angela's just leaning into it now. Hit the lick. Absolutely hit the lick, guys. Thank you, Angela. Lick button, you say. Yes. Oh, dear. Oh, it's there. It's there. We've finally got there. It's Friday, though, guys. It's Friday. Happy Veterans Day to all of my veterans out there. Thank you guys so much, and a special shout out to my main veteran, Jericho Green, and all of you folks, veterans in Comicsgate, of which there are many. We thank you guys so much for everything that you have done, and God bless you. But happy Friday to everybody. And I will say that which is of course my catchphrase at this point, that I've been very excited about what I'm seeing coming out of Japan right now, and I hope it will be just the kick in the pants that hopefully continue to be the kick in the pants that Hollywood needs when it comes to getting in gear and creating cooler stuff, because the special effects, the CG special effects for Godzilla -1 are first rate. They're fantastic. And if they start adapting their own anime like Attack on Titan, well, I know they've tried to do live action, but I just think they're in their infancy right now. And you know, all of the different stuff, you've already seen it on Netflix with One Piece. It's just going to go through the roof, and we've got to make that stuff, man. We've got to make that stuff. Agent Zero in the house, always happy to serve. That's right? Absolutely, man. Happy to serve, Agent Zero. We salute you. God bless you. Yes, wonderful people, man. Wonderful people here. I love this place, man. Oh, and I should tell you this. I thought it was self-claim. You guys are killing me. Yes, indeed. Thank you for your service and sacrifices, 100%. Yeah, salute, 100%. And let me say this too, guys. Speaking of you know, cool stuff, I was just thinking about is that I just got these new Comicsgate beanies in the mail, and they're great, man. The quality of the stuff Ethan is putting out there is fantastic. So if you haven't gotten yours yet, please do. You know, please do. Yeah, Hollywood never learns a lesson. Amen. Yeah, also Angela Curry. That's right. Look at this. It almost looks like a cyber owl. That's totally how it is. And again, sir, thank you so much. I doff my cap to you, sir. I've only seen 2 movies at theaters since the lockdowns. Godzilla, yep, one and going to be, yeah, Godzilla -1 is going to be the third. Yes, and that's a movie that is begging to be seen on the screen. And I'll tell you another one that our kid, my son, was happy to see and made a trip to the IMAX to see, which was Oppenheimer. There's a lot of young people right now who are excited about history and historical documents, and documentation. I'm so thrilled by that, and history-based movies. And yeah, hail Mad Lads, and thank God it's Friday indeed. Channel member Timmy Mello, it is great to see you. Absolutely right. Yeah, I wouldn't be where I am without serving. God bless you, sir. Doff my cap. Thank you so much. -1 is looking amazing. Can't wait. Yeah, you know what was funny is, I was telling my buddy about it the other night, and he hadn't heard of it yet. And I think it's going to be one of those things that, much like Comicsgate, it's going to take off online. You know, people are going to start hearing about it. And much like Five Nights at Freddy's or any of these other things, I don't think Hollywood is aware or equipped to understand the cultural significance of it. You know, I think that, let me just focus that a little bit. Oh, that's way better. I think they don't understand the cultural significance of that movie. I think that they don't realize that Godzilla is, and Japanese culture is something that is really, really big with this generation. And so you've got 2 or 3 generations at least who are excited about Godzilla. And I just think it's going to be a perfect storm movie. I think it's going to be huge. It's going to be huge. Yeah, John, God bless you indeed. Right on, right on. Look at all the love here. Yeah, grass is wet, still going to touch it. God bless all bow. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yeah, I mean, it's wild to me that they're selling action figures and vinyl figures of all this stuff. I sent a message the other night. I sent Shane a message about this this new vinyl figure sculpted by this artist named Yuji Sakai. And he's just masterful at putting into, let's see if that focuses, putting into 3D these incredible designs that you see in movies. And when these guys, these artists, when they make, vinyl figure sculpts of all of these different kaiju, the thing that's kind of wild about it is that they even include like the zippers of the suits and things like that. So if you grew up, I'm one of those people where when someone says, what is your favorite Godzilla film? It's a tough call because it's not about like what is the most artfully beautiful Godzilla film. I've got to say that my favorite is always going to be Godzilla vs. Megalon, with Jet Jaguar and Godzilla teaming up, shaking hands, being friends. I mean, I was a kid when that came out, and I should say I was a kid when I saw that on television, and I fell in love with that movie, and it's got a special place in my heart. I even love the Mystery Science Theater where they basically, EFAP that EFAP that movie. It's hilarious, man. It's great stuff. It's so fun to see that stuff. Let's see here. Yes, indeed. Everybody's saying hello, hello, hello. Hey there. Yeah, touching grass isn't good for me. I spontaneously combust last time I stepped on a patch of grass. Yes, I actually have a grass allergy, so I try to I'd rather go out there and maybe yeah, I don't know, do something else. Who knows? Well, I did actually when I went to go see the H.P. Lovecraft, and which I can't, guys. Let me tell you this. I don't know if you know, I don't know whatever these things sort of look like, but I really thank God the camera wasn't on my face. That was a very powerful experience for me, man. On so many levels, I was just to be there. And to be there with No Sparrow, guys, this whole thing is crazy. Chrome Dog, #1 Justin K. suite of Arrow comics. Check it out, guys. It's on Fund My Comics. And Fund My Comics, I do love Jet Jaguar. Fund My Comics, I had the pleasure and the privilege of doing a design they decided to use for that website. So I take great pride in that. Any way I can sort of help the Iron Age space and the Comicsgate space, I'm here 100%, you know, doing what I can. And it all starts with making a good book. You know, that was the big thing. That is the big thing. What was Lovecraft's cat's name again? I forget. It was actually Sanford. You know what is funny though too about all of this stuff is that how do I put it? Some of the best Lovecraft. No, I can't say that. That's obnoxious. I was gonna say some of the best Lovecraft stuff is, you know, people don't know, but I actually think that all of his stuff is great. But I will say there are some side stories of Lovecraft that are 100% brilliant, and they only touch on the bizarre. They're kind of they're street level Lovecraft. So, like, the Call of Cthulhu is almost like, you know, a big, you know, Avengers level story. All these different characters all around the world, this earthquake, all this stuff. It's this massive epic. And when you read something like The Thing on the Doorstep, it brings up some of his creatures. It brings up Innsmouth and its denizens. It brings up all of this different stuff. But at its heart, it's a very small story of these two guys who are friends, and one of them is younger, and the older guy has known him since he was a kid, and his journey into making poor mistakes, particularly in marriage, and starting to messing with powers he doesn't understand, and it is crazy. Whoever put that stupid emote button on top of the chat should be beaten with a broom handle. Oh my God! Whenever I've run into that myself. Because whenever you want to, you know, highlight a chat or whatever, it's a total pain. And what's up, Neon Todd Studios? It's great to see you. But you know what I was thinking about just now is whenever I hear that, I think of that Christmas Vacation line, which is one of my favorites, which is, "That's pretty low, sir. If I had a rubber hose, I would beat you till next September." So it makes me laugh, dude. Oh, man. That stuff just cracks me up, man. I love that movie. That is a Christmas classic. Oh my gosh. We needed a coffin, a tree. Oh man, it looks like we got another channel member in the house, folks. We have got Ferris Comics here. Ferris Comics, it's great to see you. Ferris, God, I can't ever get that right. Ferris Comics, it is great to see you in the house, my friend. Yes, indeed. Spam's 100 button. That's right. You've got to do it, folks. You've got to do it. Yes, and guys, do grab a Waffle Lodge t-shirt. Do grab an Iron Age t-shirt. I'm going to start, I'm going to definitely start pushing that stuff more, because I was thinking just today, or maybe it was yesterday. Oh, it was today, because technically it was after midnight. I was thinking about the Comicsgate hats I just got from Ethan. If you order the beanies on eBay, and I don't know if they're still on sale, but you get these awesome hats. These things are beautiful. And I can't help but think that that's really where a lot of this stuff starts, is you guys going out there wearing, you know, Comicsgate merch or Iron Age merch or t-shirts, and somebody going, "What is that?" Because that's how I found my way to this space. Was, you know, it started with the Fandom Menace, and it was people talking about these things, and then things just kept going and going and going. So I don't know, I'm a big believer in the power of, wearing that stuff out and people seeing it, and young people seeing this stuff because it looks cool and it gets people asking questions. It gets people interested in what we're doing. So yeah, shout out to Ethan for making some really great products, and they're super high quality. I mean, you guys are going to see this when you get the book for Nosfero. Outside of, like, there's the extras, there's the the cards and the postcards and the prints and all that stuff, and every bit of it helps us to keep this thing going. Just like the channel memberships. Again, thank you, channel members, and the super chats and all of that stuff. But the book itself is freaking beautiful, and I am so proud of it. And if I didn't want to invite more BS into my life than I already have, I would tell you guys the printing company that I used for it, because their printing, Instagram and all of their stuff is just filled with all of these high-end beautiful books. We spared no expense on Nosfero. And I was looking at this. What is up? How are you doing? I love Duck Bacon. I love that. Whenever I see Duck Bacon in the chat, man, I see that icon, I read that, it puts a huge smile on my face. Yes, indeed. CyberFrog. Get CyberFrog and Comicsgate comics and merch from Ethan's eBay store right there. Thank you so much. And again, shout out to you, Angela Curry. It's great to see you here. Yeah, Cool Air is one of my favorite Lovecraft stories. It's a standalone, pretty small scale, but it's just a cool concept. Yeah, there's those creepy Lovecraft stories, man. They get you. But I was doing the math on what would in today's inflation, what would it take to get the value of $25. And $25 is worth, like, how do I put this? In terms of its purchasing power, it's the equivalent of spending $28 right now. So we've had to, in making this book quality and putting this campaign together, that inflation really hurts, because paper has gone up, printing has gone up, all of this stuff has gone through the roof. But we said to ourselves, this is our first, publication coming out of, for you guys, first Comicsgate book. This thing is freaking beautiful, and it's all printed, it's all paid for, it's all waiting to be shipped. And yeah. Yep. And it's waiting to be shipped. And the thing that's been so cool about this stuff is that, you just know when you're holding, a quality, print job and quality stuff. I mean, you're going to be like, you're looking at the book. That's what it comes down to. And so today's the last day to make sure your address is, I don't know, I've heard different things, but I'm pretty sure you have to make sure when you back a campaign that you go into the campaign, and if your address is changed, Indiegogo doesn't automatically change your addresses per campaign, or so I've been told. So you want to make sure, if you have moved, that you log into Indiegogo. I actually have all this. I've put 2 updates up about this. And just log into your Indiegogo, go to the campaigns that you've backed, and go into, the details for it, and make sure, don't ask me, I'm not an expert on it, and just make sure that it's got your current address on it, because I want to make sure you guys have the right address for this book, so that we have the right address for where to send it to you. Heck yeah, man. I tell you what, I love making art for you guys, and I love making comics and telling stories for you guys, and I'm like, let's keep going, let's keep making it happen, man. That's what it's all about. Yeah, Art and Times of Jay Ryan, freaking great work on Insta. Guys, I'm seeing a lot of amazing talent in this space, gives me, and a lot of passion, man. A lot of passion in this space. You know what I'm saying? Waffle Lodge is far better than Waffle House as a name. You're absolutely right, and it's probably safer, according to everything I'm learning about. I mean, look, if you Google my childhood Waffle House, the first thing that comes up are all of the altercations and such that have happened there. So let me say, it's an interesting place to grow up in. Yeah, this cruddy economy caused a dollar store I lived by to close. They had fantastic art supplies and sketchbooks, and you could get around $5 that you get for around $5, where elsewhere you'd pay $15. 100%, yeah, guys. Yeah, it's yeah, it's pretty intense, man. Waffle House is pretty dang intense. And yeah, it's a wild thing because I do think that we're in this kind of late 70s period for all of you guys who recollect those times. And we're about to kind of experience another pop culture boom because we have just been in the dregs for too long, and I think people are tired. I was telling a friend of mine that the reason why I don't spend excessive amount of time listening to politics, because it really doesn't change, is because I think it's not timeless, and I think it's the goal of it is to kind of demoralize you, and much like all propaganda is, to demoralize you and sap your enthusiasm and your energy. And as wild as this may sound, as being something that's positive, the last couple of weeks since Halloween, so maybe just a week and a half or two, I've been listening to Art Bell. And I have heard about Art Bell forever. This is the first time I've ever listened to him. And I get the appeal of it. I even though it wasn't a massive part of my formative years, I've only been listening to it for a week and a half, I totally get why this guy's stuff worked. I get why this stuff came on the scene and became big in the late 70s into the 80s. And you see a lot of that stuff where it's you almost feel like you could be listening to it right now because it's not constantly referencing what's going on today. And there's something great about that. I don't know. I mean, some of you guys know. Yeah, and now for the rest of the story. Amen. How many of you guys knew Art Bell? Yeah, Art Bell, rest in peace. Channel member Timmy Mello says, phenomenal show host. I have never listened to it. I said this to my brother Nick, who is in his early 60s, and it was like I triggered a flashback to all these happy memories late night working on illustration gigs, whether it was for Conan the Barbarian or whatever science fiction, Star Trek or whatever science fiction fantasy covers he was illustrating at the time. And I hear so many people have that connection. I don't know if any of you guys have listened to this stuff, but it's fascinating. It's amazing how much life can be lived when not focused on politics. Amen, 100%. I get so much more done for you guys and so much more productive stuff done by, cutting that stuff back and sort of saying, nah, this isn't it. This is not where it happens. One of the things I like about the channel, the Townsend's channel, is that what they talk about is, yes, history was going on. All of these massive movements were going on, and the founding of this nation and all of that kind of stuff. But there were everyday people trying to live a life that really are what defined this country that we're in. And looking at things through the political lens or only through the sweeping lens overlooks all of the people whose motivations for doing things were family and craft and skill and work and survival. And that's where all the best relationships are. You know what I mean? Is that kind of passion. That's what I love about this stuff. Yeah, listening to out there stuff helps with tapping out of cultural BS. Even comics can help with that. That's what I see comics as. Your 100% escapism. And giving you a sense of positivity. Nosfero is, if it has any goal, it's not to bring you down. Its goal is to show you something beautiful, something sexy, something adventurous, and something that hopefully puts a smile on your face. That's what I really want. Listen to a lot of Art Bell working the night shift, and I hear so many people say that who drive trucks or work any kind of late shift. They know, and that's what's so great. Art Bell was classic radio in the early hours of the morning. High as a kite. Yes, that's right. I've heard so many people say that too. Yeah, politics is like ceaseless wheel of exhaustion. Yes, after what happened this past Tuesday here in Ohio, I am now about done getting emotionally invested. There you go, folks. Yeah, it's the purpose of all of this stuff is oftentimes just to leave you feeling that way, or at least that's politics. Whether it's its purpose or not, that is the effect that it seems to have. And I think it's why political work has no legs. And I think it's also why, artwork that avoids it, or works of any kind that I wouldn't say even, because it's not avoiding it. I think that's the term people use. They talk about things like, you're avoiding politics like it's the reality. You know what I mean? It's not the reality. Most of the time, I think politics is about avoiding life and human interaction and friendships and relationships. It's not a hill worth dying on, man. Yeah, absolutely, Duck Bacon. Yeah, it's not a hill worth dying on. I mean, when people talk about Comicsgate, and they talk about it, and I think Chuck Dixon did a great video about it the other day that I really enjoyed listening to. And when people talk about it, it's like it's an attempt to create artwork and put stuff out there because everything has been politicized in one particular direction. But there was a time when people actually treated each other like people, formed normal human relationships, and that was not the central focus of their relationship. So it's almost by default that we find ourselves in this kind of position. I would much rather talk about kaiju with Shane or the movie Psycho with Ethan. Like, I could think of Comicsgate creators, right? If you can't think of the conversation you'd like to have with somebody, if you had the time to have a conversation with them that wasn't about work or all of the other things that we do and outside of kids and family, what would the topic be? If you can't think of a topic, that's when you've got a problem. Like when the only topic you have is politics. Because when it comes to all the folks that are in CG, I can think of, there's probably, if I know somebody, I can think of a conversation I'd have with them. It's if I've spent any time with them, like I could say, oh, I know what I talk about with that person. And that's really what it is. It's what would you talk about? And whether or not those conversations ever happen, you can't really force them and everybody's working like a maniac. But knowing that what somebody's, actual interests are as opposed to what their affiliation is, to me, that's where the gold is. To me, that's where all of the great stuff happens. So, I mean, I thank you guys for being here. And all of you guys in here, if you hit the like and if you subscribe, I'm getting throttled by YouTube at the moment, which, I mean, this started a little longer ago. I mean, I had videos I was doing, and they were getting like 700 views, and then one day, and you guys know how it is, they drop the hammer on your channel, and it's like, oh, it's gone. But you know what, guys? This is where it comes down to. If I focus on the algorithm, it'll break what I'm doing. It'll break my consistency. The algorithm does not stop me from making great artwork, and you guys get the word out just fine. And I would rather have you guys than the algorithm any day of the week, because you guys are committed, and many of you should be committed. But I love you anyway. All right, let me see what we got here. All right, yeah, I think Art was on that day, not sure. Oh, yeah, there you go. I actually called into one of the Coast to Coast shows. It was about deja vu. Yes, in parallel universe, it's crazy. No one knows what deja vu is. Yes, deja vu I experience somewhat frequently. As a proponent of the culture over the political, drive the culture, drive the politics, moral tales, parables, 100%. Hazard says, yeah, I'm sick of entertainment constantly telling me I'm morally abhorrent person. I'm just trying to have a good time. Yeah, it's not, politics' job is not to lecture anybody. Politics' job is to lecture people. Entertainment's job is not to lecture. Yeah, politics get me stressed out that's their goal. Angela, think about hanging out with some friends or pseudo friends who are just obsessed with politics. Think about hanging out with politically obsessed people. And then in the middle of their craziness, Angela, I want you to picture looking at them and saying, and make sure you hit the lick. Look at you like, what? And you would know, and you would bust out laughing. And when you come into this chat, everybody knows, and we're laughing. It's got nothing to do with anything. Yeah, it divided people rather than galvanize them. The best we can do is just meet people. Timmy, 100%. Meet people at a personal level and play into a segregated political narrative. It's warfare without bloodshed. Yeah, and it splits your soul in half too, man. I don't know about you guys, but I make friends based on interests and how they treat people. And over long term, I don't go and audit my friends, for God's sake. And I will say this, that when I think about that, the fact that the group of people I'm around are very different seems to happen naturally based on that. if you like comics and you made friends purely based on their passion for comics, you would have a lot of different people in your friend group. You just would. I don't understand why people haven't figured this out yet, but that's where the relationships are, man. Shanth, have you seen the trailer for the Monarch Legacy? Yes, I'm excited. Yeah, I love God. I was just watching the first Godzilla movie from 2014. I think it was really good. I understand some of the criticism, but I come back to that movie again and again. I think it's a really well done movie. There's definitely a right way and a wrong way to go about things. Representation is important in my opinion, but I want to see the heroism represented, not cynicism, as the driving force. 100% Simply Green. A guy in his room laughs out loud, and man, right on. Mr. Monkey Boy 1969, it's great to see you, brother. How are you doing? Hazret in the house is cracking up. We're gonna lick the world. Oh my god. Guy in his room. You have to prepare me for that, man. You killed me. Holy Lord, you guys are getting me. Yeah, deja vu and Mandelas are fascinating. Some even consider it a type of ESP. Wow, like remote viewing. Art Bell was all over that stuff on C2 Coast to Coast and Caravan to Midnight. Yeah, 100%. There's a scene in Starship Troopers where history teachers talk about social scientists almost destroyed civilization, but veterans took over and imposed order. I think about that sometimes. Oh my gosh, Duck Bacon with a $19 super chat. Holy cow. I don't know if y'all seen the movie Meet John Doe. I have not, but it's regular people came together and formed clubs. No politicians were allowed. I like to think that's what's going on as our own. That's what's going on here is our own John Doe club. Well, thank you so much for that incredibly generous, and Waffle Lodge. Thank you so much, Duck Bacon, for that incredibly generous super chat. And of course, that is going to earn you a cheerleader. God bless you, sir. Thank you so much for that. Wow, very generous, and I agree. I think that's what's going on. Simply Green. It's hard to make hard and fast rules. Maybe you don't want to see a hero who keeps just giving up, but if that's part of the character development, Spidey took the mask off for a bit. Yes, and here's the crazy thing, right? Is that a lot of times I think that the issue is that people are starting conversations with other people and they know how the conversation has to go. So they're not really having a conversation. They've made this person into this abstraction. And when it comes to art, and Nosferatu is a perfect example of this, I let the story unfold. I had an idea, but I was open to where it could go. And that's how it is with relationships. You know, the idea of just being trying to be as level as you can be. And that doesn't mean, by the way, if you spot bullshit, you know, don't make the same mistakes over and over again. And what's up, Crenshaw? FAO, it's great to see you, my friend. Let's see here. Thank you for bringing up the change of address thing. Just looked, and sure enough, I had an old address listed. My pleasure, man. But yeah, this is the thing about it, you know, is man, like, if you play the guitar and you know some skill I don't know, and I'm meeting you for the first time, and all I'm doing is talking about politics or something else that's pointless, I'm never going to learn that about you. And in art and in conversation, you got to let a little room to breathe. And I think politics is suffocating. I think ideology and dogmatic ideology of what things have to be and everything like that are suffocating. They suffocate friendships. They suffocate relationships. They suffocate the individual. And, you know, it's funny, man, and I swear this isn't a sales pitch. I'm not going to show it. Not going to show it. I can't do it. I'll show it in a second. But it's why I get excited about the things we're doing here. Do you know what I mean? It's why I get excited about the things we're doing here. Hola, amigos. Jimmy Reyes Art. It's great to see you, my friend. How you doing, brother? And channel member Mark's Music Obsession snuck in to say, hey, I'm at the hospital with my mother. Hopefully everyone will have a good weekend. My God, give your mother my best. And, I hope she's feeling better and, you know, she starts feeling better and recovers. My goodness, Mark. And thank you so much for being a channel member. But, yes, when this stream is over, do let me know if you know, it's all right with you, and I will make sure I take some time to pray for your mother's health. So do let me know, Mark. Yeah, get the cheerleaders ready. Indeed, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yeah, the cheerleaders have got to be on point and ready to rock. Yes, indeed. Men of great knowledge and intellect, but lacking in morals. Amen. Keep the corporations and politicians, both official and social, out of our escapism. 100%. The 2010 and 2020 decades will be a case study in gatekeeping your escapism. Gotta love it, man. It's Taco Friday. Oh, God, I love Mexican food. Now I'm thinking about it. Yeah, I had family growing up in El Paso, Texas. And yes, I that like real Mexican food. I had, of course, some cousins who were half Mexican. My cousins and I, because speaking of the natural way the world can sometimes go, we pretty much covered almost everything, just in terms of people marrying. It just is the way it is. I think most people are like that. I mean, I remember the first time of seeing different comic book characters, and I never thought about, if the creator was like me, if the character was like me. I was just dialed in, man. Do you know? You're very welcome, Mark, by the way. What is up? It was Taco Friday in this house last night. God bless you, Michael. And tacos are sounding really good to me, brother. What do I call you? I guess Bance is all I'm going to call you because Browncroft is such a good nickname. I mean, we're going to have to come up with something with you that's as good, and that's going to be the trick. Someone said to me earlier, Michael, if this painting and some of the other paintings I'm working on are my magnum opus, and I have maintained that my magnum opus is this Lucent painting. It's my own stuff, but as far as commissions go, this is my magnum opus. Like, I was working on, I don't even know if I've shown you this yet, but this is so small, no one's going to see this dang thing, but I will see it, and God will see it. So that's the way it works. But I was working on, sorry, it's out of focus because I have my focus set, but I was working on this tiny motorcycle zipping off into perspective right there, and this is my thumbnail, for God's sake. And it's going to be reduced. And I thought, what am I doing? What the hell am I doing? But I know what I'm doing. I'm making art, y'all. That's how it's got to go. That's how it's got to go. Everybody's saying hello to Michael Bancroft. But, I mean, guys, make stuff that will stand the test of time. Nosfero is a book that will hold up long term. It will be, because it's just a thing of beauty. It's a thing of art and creativity. I look at Frank Frazetta's work, and he's a huge influence on me, and I look at, all of these incredible artists that have come along, and H.P. Lovecraft is a perfect example. And I read his stuff, and I think, wow, here's an example. I'll show you two things that are in H.P. Lovecraft books that really blew my mind and connected me to where I am right now. All right? You ready? I mean, it is... I don't even know how to describe this, Michael. We're going to, it's ridiculous, dude. I've lost my mind on that painting. It's a descent into madness, but then much of my life is. Here's two things I got from H.P. Lovecraft. One story, The Whisperer in the Darkness, and here you go. These things blow my mind. The Whisperer in the Darkness talks about Vermont flooding and how bad Vermont flooding is. So until Hurricane Irene, I had never heard about how severe Vermont flooding has been, and that's many years ago now. And if you watch those videos, and the recent flooding, by the way, they are horrendous. And I went, well, that's interesting. And then he talks about, I'm driving to Vermont to meet with my friend, and they never adopted daylight savings time. And so I had to remember that when I was driving from where I am over into Vermont. It's those little details that give you this beautiful attention to space. You put away all of the sort of provincial thinking and just look at the fact. And the fact of that is crazy to me. I didn't know that. And holy cow, that's been going on for so long. Someone needs to do Whisper in the Darkness, man. I think we could do that as a story really well now. I wake to ask myself, what the heck am I doing whenever I get out of bed? I know, Timmy, I knew what you meant. And I'm with you, man. But those are the things that are exciting to me. When they talk about, the small town stuff and what people are like in this particular region versus that particular region, and I don't mean, the cultural or the social stuff. I mean, well, everybody in the Providence Art Club in Rhode Island was known for their conservatism, and people who were in this particular quarter would be mortified their daughter was dating this guy. And you're like, whoa, this is some crazy time warp stuff. And that's what happens when you describe things. Now, when you look at Nosfero is in many ways, maybe it's a little bit like Art Bell's stuff in terms of it's like it's good radio. It's like it's soulful. Like I want you to open up this book and just say, I've got 33 paintings to look at, and there's all this stuff in there. But I hope it is an aesthetic experience for you, and I hope it makes you smile. You know, like putting on a really great song that you know by heart once you're through with it. And yeah, I cannot wait, guys. I'm so excited about getting this stuff to you. 100% excited. Yeah, soulfully spooky. Well said, Duck Bacon. That is a perfect way of putting it. Perfect way of putting it, man. There we go. And I love detail too. When I'm working on Nosfero, and I've thought about this a lot, is that that I think that if there's one thing I've really gotten and been free to do here, is that people tend to frown upon, well, we don't frown upon more simple, or I should say not simple, but more abstracted work or more cartooned work here in CG. Detailed work is very much frowned upon in the mainstream. And, you know, I'm happy that when I'm doing a, quote, head sketch, my friend's been cracking on me about calling these things head sketches. He's like, these are just paintings, man. But when I was wrapping up this werewolf painting here, I mean, my attitude is make it happen. Give people something. There we go. You can see the color a little better because I have the gamma adjusted. But look at this. I mean, this is going to be in somebody's possession very shortly who wanted a werewolf head sketch. It's got to be beautiful, man. It's got to be beautiful. And whether it's Aldous' Shadow piece or Lloyd Burton's Bride of Frankenstein piece, these things are worthy of being in my next art book. And they shall be. And it's the same thing with this stuff right here. That's going to be a heck of a tome because I've done a lot of artwork. I mean, I was looking at the amount of artwork I have around me the other day, and it's staggering how much I've done. I mean, I've done so much artwork in the last 2 years. It's incredible. And some stuff you guys haven't even seen yet. I did a piece that's in the Godlike Visions book that you guys do know because I was able to paint it on stream. John went out of his way to tell me that would be all right, which was very cool. But I did another piece for that book of somebody else's character, another pinup, and no one has laid eyes on it yet except for the creator who commissioned it and John Malin and his designer. Those are the only people who have seen that painting. And it's wild to think about, you know, that there's so much art coming out. And of course, soon to be the Lucent piece and the Battle Brick Road piece. There we go. Yeah, I mean, holy cow, guys. And thank you guys for being here. Gosh, 20 people here watching. Thank you so much. RoboBird, 100%, dude. Yeah, oh, thank you so much, man. I love painting werewolves. Yeah, this, Michael, this is a kaiju piece from Ultraman, a character from Ultraman, called Baltan, the Alien Baltan, I think is the name of the character. And a former student of mine who backed Nosfero at the highest tier, God bless her, asked for this. And she was one of my students during my favorite year of teaching, which was my first year hired as a full-time professor. So it meant a lot financially to my family. It was equally hard to leave for that reason. And it's not without its difficulties, standing on principle. But it was a great year. The students were great. Everybody there, it had this this vibe where there were a lot of people who were not political. There was a lot of people from different backgrounds in terms of socioeconomic and all that other stuff, but you can't plan something based on that. That tells you really nothing. But people, you were able to create a sense of togetherness there. And it was really, really a special kind of time. And so when she asked me for this painting, like, could I have this? I'm like, yeah, of course you can. And I used to call my students I met with in my independent studies, I'd go, what's up, cats and kittens? And so when I was picked by the senior class, my first year teaching there, to give the commencement address for the faculty address. Uh-oh, the sirens are coming. Look out, people. When I was chosen to give the faculty address, she came up and pinned a note to my cap and gown. And it was, thank you so much for everything you did our senior year for us. We've all grown so much as ours. All that emotional shit, man. It's hard, man. I think about it and it just gets me, man. But and then it was signed off, your cats and kittens. I always love that, man, because I'd always say that, man. Cats and kittens. Yeah. And you should know about wasted time. My name is an anagram for low time. There you go. Oh my gosh, that is wild. Yeah, I love me some anagrams, man. I'm obsessed with them. I do a lot of stuff with anagrams, or what's it called? Not anagrams. Oh, I guess that's right. It is actually. Come to think of it, but I was thinking of not just anagrams. What is the other one I was thinking of? Yeah, no, it is anagrams. But yeah, like and I also like palindromes. That's what I was thinking about. Like Dr. Awkward. Love that, man. There we go. Coming together. Yeah, this is a cool character. I want to do, I think I want to do some metallic stuff on it, you know, because I can do that with acrylics. I have some silver acrylics and mix that into the color. I think it could be really cool. Yes, a palindromes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, love those. So things that are the same thing one way as they are, or the same thing front ways as they are backwards. So you could start with something like Bob, but then you can do something like Dr. Awkward, which is the same thing front ways and back ways. And so, yeah, I always love doing things like that. Yeah. Cramps, no, that wasn't me. It was somebody else. It was the one-armed man. Oh, my God. Oh, you guys. I love you guys. It's great to see you on a Friday. Thank you guys so much for being here. Gosh, thank you, Duck Bacon. That $20 super chat. Holy cow, my friend. You are, that's wild, dude. I will put it directly into brushes. That's what happens. That's how we get these brushes and sharp points on them. And, you know, we've got a lot of fulfillment expenses ahead of us. So every bit helps, guys. Every bit helps. You know, and like, you know, it's a wild thing because I was talking to my friend the other night and I go, because, you know, he's just starting out on his YouTube journey. And I said, I don't think I can ever overstate what it's like to get to hang out with people regularly and to find your actual audience, the people who actually support your work. You know what I mean? And it's a wild thing because so many of the times artists are kind of hidden behind characters and corporations. So maybe you see, you know, somebody like Ethan on his level of success on a Blu-ray, you know, commentary or behind the scenes, you know, kind of thing, which is awesome to see. But you ask the average person where the Green Lantern emotional spectrum came from and they don't know. And it's the same thing in academia. And here we really are speaking directly to our audience. So we find, you know, our fans. And many of our fans are Comicsgate fans, and that's how we meet them. And then, but then within Comicsgate, you get to kind of gravitate towards, you know, whatever the stuff is that interests you, and it's overwhelming. And then I meet people who are fans of Jericho Greens who've come in here, and I meet people who are Iron Age fans and fans of Razor Fist who come in here. I mean, it is wild, man. It's wild. And that's how it goes. What's up, our Luniverse? It's great to see you. Hello, Shanth. How are you? I'm doing great. How are you doing? That is the question of the day. I'm doing fantastic. Happy Friday and happy Veterans Day to all of my veterans, guys. Thank you so much. And a special thank you to all of my channel members who are making all this stuff possible. I appreciate you so much. My family and I appreciate you guys. But yeah, oh man, I've never painted this character before, and I'm having a blast, man. It's, you know, again, here's a perfect example. We were just talking before about how when you meet people, the conversation, you know, when you just chill out, the conversation is really organic and you can go a lot of different places. And the first time I'm seeing this character in any real meaningful way and painting this character is because somebody requested it as a head sketch. Otherwise, this isn't happening. And that's a real way, you know, that people affect what we do here. This work of art exists because someone backed a head sketch. And that's one of the things I love about it, you know. Oh, yeah, it is Veterans Day. Yes, indeed. My dad is a veteran. I thank him so much. I should say something to him. Yes, please do. Brian Suddenly Old, it's great to see you, man. It's been a minute. This is a kaiju from Ultraman that somebody commissioned as a head sketch. And so I've been working on this. I probably started this last night, first thing in the morning. Or I should say, I started this at about after midnight sometime. And yeah, 40% Zen, race car. There it is. But Brian Suddenly Old, it's great to see you, my friend. How are you doing? Yeah, it's a different kind of networking, and what's cool about it is it's the best kind. It's meeting people because you have a shared interest, which is what we used to do, man. Or I should say, what is natural for us to do and what we will do again. And I really do think that's the case because people are burnt out. If you have friends based on any kind of dogmatic thing, you're going to attract political people. And the only thing political people are obsessed with, and I mean inter-office politics, let's start with that, which is the basic thing, is gaining power by making rules that serve them, that are utterly subjective. And in any kind of objective way, if you look at the stuff that I'm doing, and if you've ever had me as a student, you would know that there's a reason why my class is filled, and there's a reason why people would get excited about my work. It's because it's skill, it's discipline. It takes a lot to make this happen, and then some of it's just in God's hands, you know, with when it comes to talent, discipline, work ethic, and all of that stuff. But it takes a lot to do it, and it's shocking to be in an environment like I'm in right now with you guys, where people see this and go, hey, that's beautiful. I want to help that to happen. I want to put my money there. It is such an overwhelming thing and a really moving thing that you guys do. And I don't think I can ever really express what it's like to be putting the same work forward and having people say, it's not real art. It's comics, or it's fantasy, or it's genre stuff. Or, well, you know, we really don't do this stuff. Razorfist did a great rant for the Iron Age, and that's what it's about. And since this is a better segue than saying something else, Razorfist has gone out of his way to say very recently that Iron Age is not really a hashtag, even though I'm going to use it as one. It's to define this time. So it's not a club, it's not a clique, there aren't rules per se, all of that kind of stuff. But guys, I love it, and I love celebrating this time we're in. And so there's a link here in the chat for the Iron Age t-shirt. If you have not gotten it, I love this shirt. This is one wash later into it, so it's holding up pretty well, and to put it mildly. And yeah, give nihilism no quarter is my favorite phrase. I use this all the time, man. I love this stuff. And yeah, I want us to stay in that zone, and I think when it grows organically, it's really cool. And just like I mean, this stuff too, man. It's like, this is a hashtag, and this is, you know, something that's beautiful, and it's something that has taken a lot of investment in it, and it's great to see, and I'm glad, you know, Ethan's making all this cool stuff with it, man. It's wild. So yeah, let's make it happen. Oops, was just typing in the wrong window. I was like, how is Shanth reading my Google search? That's hilarious, dude. I love it. I love it. Oh, I'm doing good. Taking Friday slow. Amen. Got my feet up reading. Ooh, Shadow Sentry. Finding out about the Hellborn and the Highborn. Whoa, very cool, Brian. Awesome. Is he good? Let me know, man. Tell me more, as they say. You guys ever wonder if you had a stroke but didn't notice? You know the answer to that question, 40% Zed. I think about that all the time. Yes, nice beanie indeed. Mighty Geek Studios. Hail, I bow to you, my friend. It is great to see you here in the chat, guys. Yeah, I love hearing about and I asked Michael Dicha this once because we were talking about this, but I really like learning about the fiction that shapes people, whether it's movies or anything else. When I learned that that Ethan's favorite movie of all time was Psycho, I'm a huge Hitchcock fan. I think that movie is it's obviously considered a masterpiece, but it is, I could go into minute detail on that movie, and I just thought, man, one day I want to have a conversation with Ethan about Psycho, because you don't meet a lot. I did have that conversation with Jericho and Gabe on Double Impact, but I have a feeling that Ethan is probably a massive nerd about Psycho, and one might say he's psycho for Psycho. But I'd love to have that conversation. And, you know, when you guys mention things in the chat and genres and things that I haven't read or I haven't seen, I'm always excited to hear about it, because I think that that's how I get to do the work that I do. And, you know, it was my studio mate introduced me to Frank Frazetta. This is going to be really upsetting to say, but it's the truth. The Kathleen Kennedy Disney Star Wars movies, introduced me to Ethan. How's that for a painful origin story, and Comicsgate for that matter? But that kind of speaks to that parable that is so often cited about, you can't always call what a situation is going to be when you're in it. That I wouldn't trade finding everybody in Comicsgate and getting to meet folks like John Malin and Ethan and of course Michael Bancroft and Eric Weathers and all of these cats that I've met who are in the Comicsgate space for anything, man. It's wild. And so I think sometimes we're the seeds are being kind of put down or planted for things that we don't know are going to happen yet, which is why I think that leave a little room for happenstance, whether it's in your artwork or in your life. So many of the big things that have happened and have changed my life for the better have been instances where, and I said this to a friend of mine and he was cracking up, where I go, I keep doing everything like this the same way and I'm getting the same results. And you know the quote. So what if I just do, I think they even had an episode of Seinfeld with George Costanza that covered this. I'm just going to do something that I haven't done before. I'm going to do something different. And it's incredible how much that can shape and change the course of the things that you're doing for the better. Is if you're in a situation and you feel like things aren't progressing and things aren't changing, step outside of your comfort zone, or I should say step outside of your routine and try something that's different than what you typically do. If you think there's a type of person that you don't have anything in common with, and then but you don't like the people you're around, maybe it's that person you think you don't have anything in common with that is the conversation you've been waiting to have. And I've seen that so many times in my life. I'm telling you what, I'm loving the detail on this, guys. I've seen that so many times in my life, it's crazy, man. Yes, I have. I watched that, and it's a wild thing to be to have been ahead of the curve on that stuff with all of you guys, and then see people waking up to it. You could have knocked me over with a feather when I started to understand the gravity of that. Not to mention the things it was saying about academia. You could have knocked me over with a feather, guys. It was something else. 100% blew my mind. Timmy Mello, channel member, says, after seeing how Reverse Flash has been presented in DC Comics, I can see how Ethan, in working with DC on a creative input back in the day, could be impacted by the Psycho film in his youth. 100%, yeah. Let me get this Michael Dicha here. With Morning Comes Mistfall, an old George R.R. Martin short story I found in a magazine as a teenager, really gave me a feeling that I wanted to bring to any writing or music or art. Wow. I'm going to type that. Hang on a second. I'm slow at everything, typing-wise. Let me see here. With Morning Comes the Mistfall. There we go. All right, I got that as a note now. Okay, cool. Thank you so much for that. I love hearing things like that, guys. When you guys drop things in the chat, especially those of you guys who've been around for a long time in my chat. Thank you so much, Michael. If you find time, I highly recommend watching a playthrough of Soma. Okay, hard to explain, special kind of psychological horror. Yeah, I'll check it out. Absolutely. Yeah, I watch a lot of video game playthroughs. You gotta have something that sucks in order to have something cool. Butthead. Well said. Or is it, yeah, it is. I was making sure. I was going to say, that's not Beavis. Yeah. Blurb doesn't explain it either. Yes, I know what you mean. I've been there, man. I've been there. When the blurb falls short, shall we say. I mean, yeah, how do you explain... Well, let's talk about that. I mean, how do you explain the Comicsgate space? I mean, you certainly can't explain it by whatever nonsense people are typing in the Wikipedia, but you can't explain it quickly any other way. I think that, funny enough, that's why the merch is so important. I know that sounds dumb and crazy, but when I see Comicsgate and I see underneath Comicsgate creative freedom, shout out to the designer who made that. That gets it done. You know, creative freedom. That's it. Creative freedom. You know, get yourself be ostracized by all of the right kind of people. You know, get those people who don't want to come around you and don't want to be in the space and want you to apologize for wanting to be entertained. Like, I don't care what people find entertaining. You know what I mean? It's when people tell me what I should find entertaining that is, I find it exhausting. You know, it's like if there's this massive audience for all of these movies, then they should be showing up and they should be making money. Why in the heck, you know, are you going to get mad at me for not showing up to things that don't entertain me? It's that simple. Nosferatu is pulp through and through. It is sexy, mysterious, and dangerous in that sense. There's action and danger, but it's like sexiness. I look at manga and I go, why aren't we doing that? What's wrong with a nude female figure? You know, it's what's wrong with action and fight scenes and all of that stuff. I'm so tired of this kind of staid art. It's just so banal, you know. It was also known as the Wraith, which is why it took me decades to find it again. It hit my Hemingway story. Oh, wow, very cool. It hit me like Hemingway stories. Wow, very nice. You know what? That is, now you've got me very curious, Michael. You got me very curious. Yeah, it's hard to explain the hows and whys of various CG happenings without going over a bunch of history. It's true. Yeah, it's totally true. And I think it comes down to making the best work that we can make. That's what we're here to do. You know, we're here to make the best work we can make. And that's why I always say when someone asks me, you know, what Comicsgate is, you know, for me, I'm like, this is what Comicsgate is for me. And when somebody says, no, but I mean, like, what is it beyond your own project? I go, okay, so you mean, like, what is Comicsgate beyond, you know, my own project, right? Let's see if I can find... God, I have a lot of books here. Goodness gracious. I'm like, it's this, right? It's this. It's this. It's Inglorious Rex. It's CyberFrog. It's... Gosh, I thought I had it right here. Oh, there it is. Gosh, I have so much art here, guys. It is... I've got to fulfill just so I can clear out some space in my studio. It's this. It's Battle Brick Road by Eric Weathers. Do you know what I mean? It's so much easier to present people with concrete physical things. When someone says to me, you know, what's a painted head sketch? It's this. This is a painted head sketch. This is what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? It's show people, if you want people to think of you as an artist, when they look over at you, they should see you making art. And you should be making art enough of your time so that when people look over at you, they go, oh, that guy's probably an artist. Do you know what I'm saying? And if you want people to think of you as a positive person, an inspiring person, when they tune into you, they should see that at least most of the time. And you know, it's a crazy thing too. People started saying that I was positive. I didn't understand what they were talking about because I don't always feel wildly positive about things. I'm very pragmatic. I'm very realistic. But I guess I am. You know, I guess that's what I lean into. But I've seen too much horrific stuff in my lifetime to not appreciate the fact that there is any beauty at all. And that there are so many amazing people out there at all. You know, I see miracles every single day. And that's the thing that amazes me about all this stuff. You know, to me, Frankenstein 1931 is a miracle. You know, to me, H.P. Lovecraft's The Shunned House is a miracle. Comicsgate is a miracle. You know, all of this stuff, the movies I love, you know, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is a miracle. Solomon Kane is a miracle. All this stuff, man, and I look at it and it just inspires me so much to do my best work because I want to contribute to I want to create things that are a grace to the human experience and not a disgrace, and that's what drives me, you know, so much. It's technically a sci-fi story, but touches on why we need mysteries and myth, 100%, and and the kind of people who destroy those myths. Yes, indeed, they're so important. Art and Times of Jay Ryan, stop talking like this. You are making too much sense. I've never been, I'm not regularly accused of that, but God bless you, man. Thank you so much. Anthony Gonzalez Clark, it's great to see you. Dude, what up? Can't wait for the book. I cannot wait for you to get it, Anthony Gonzalez Clark, man. Cannot wait for you to get it. Yeah, it's a thing of beauty. It's a shiny thing of beauty on nice, heavy paper stock, and I could not be more proud of this. Do you guys want to see a failed head sketch? I think I still have it here, and it breaks my heart. Let me see if it's here. Hold on a second. Here it is. So I was working on this head sketch of a werewolf for one of the head sketch tier backers. I was about 3/4 of the way done on it. And then all of a sudden, let me see here. Yeah. Gotta love despicable crap. Yeah. They're bored. Let's see. There we go. There we go. Have fun with that, kid. There you go. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of very ridiculousness out there. I mean, come on now. What is wrong with these people? Can one of the mods do me a solid? Yes, thank you, Michael. What is going on? Yeah, that is... Here's a question for you guys. How many freaking accounts do some of these people have? Look at this. Oh, we must be doing something right. What is wrong with this stuff? Good God, man. Is it me? Is it just me? Look at this stuff. Oh, very beautiful. I honestly, I'm at a loss. This is, yeah. Michael's just on it right now. Yeah, this is, this right here, by the way, all of this, kind of stuff right here is what happens. I am so freaking annoyed by this. Spam attacks. Yes. Spam attacks. Look at this. This is so despicable, and I'm so pissed. Yes. Look at this shit. Unbelievable. Here's the thing, man. Yeah, they are. They are. Fucking ridiculous. Bored. Yeah, bored. Yeah, there's quite a few. There's clear... Look at this. Yeah, so here's something... Allow me just to say this real quick, because I think this is important. Yeah, he probably has 1,000 accounts. Yeah, we're banning these folks, but this is what happens. This is a bot attack. So, yeah, let me say this to these particular folks. This is pathetic. I love the... yeah, I love all of this crap. Yeah, they're bored. So, let me do this real quick. Hang on. Oh, don't worry about it. It's another day at the office. It takes a little bit more. I've heard that word before in anger, so it doesn't keep me up at night. You know, it's despicable. Let me see. Yeah, it's a lovely bot attack. Fucking disgusting. Yeah. Here's what we're going to do, guys. We're going to wrap up this stream just because I am disinterested in this. And it is what it is. These people are absolutely bored out of their minds. Don't let them win. No, don't end. Okay. How about this? Yeah, well, let's just, okay, so for all of my mods out here, if you guys want to keep blocking these people until you... I mean, this is so freaking ridiculous. But a really interesting exercise for young people to see what's out there in this world. I mean, good God, guys. Seriously. That's... Jeez. Yeah, make me a mod and I'll wipe out all these races. I wish I knew you. Because I have a feeling that anybody I don't know is not somebody I want to mod at this moment. Especially if I don't know your name. Let me see here. I got 40% Zed. I'm going to add Zed as a moderator. Save. And let me see who else I know in the chat. I've got Art and Times of J. Ryan. Got to make sure I add you as a standard moderator. Michael Deach, I'm going to add you as a moderator. And so, yeah, guys, have at these fools. Have some fun. Yeah. Yeah. It's... Thank you, guys. Thank you, bots, for making my view count go up. But, yeah, got to go into sub mode, Shanth. Where do I find that? Michael, where do I find that? Community moderation. Let me just see. Settings. Creator general. Channel permissions. Community. Graphics channel. Oh, I think I know where I need to go. Hang on a second. Oh, so annoying. General. Okay, I'm done with this, whatever the hell this is. Cancel. Alright. Ah, life. Comments. Comments. Dashboard. I try to dig through all those comments to find it, Mike. Let me see. Yeah, I know. It's fun stuff. Let's see. Settings. Oh, no wonder. Comments. Settings. Oh, I'm being spammed. You're a moderator. Feel free to delete any of these. Guidelines. And channel. Gotta be under here. Block the accounts mods. What? Very confused, Michael. Send me a message. Block the accounts mods. Very confused, dude. You can send me a message on Twitter and I'll check it out. Let me do this here. Because I've got a lot coming at me right now. Holy shit, man. Let me see. Oh, block the accounts. I gotcha. I gotcha. Yeah. You got it. Fucking ridiculous. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. My mods are doing doing God's work right now. Yes. There we go. Oh, that's always fun. I'm going to have to make it subscriber-only comments from here on out, man. This is pretty nuts. Let's see here. Let me see. Comments. Yeah, we'll just keep doing what we do. All right, let me see here, guys. Well, here's the thing. As thrilling as all of this is, gotta shut this shit down because you could get your channel. Yep, guys, I'm gonna shut this down so I can go and take care of this stuff, and we'll sort it out later. All right, gang. So sorry about this. I will see you guys soon. Stay gold. Speak easy. Stay gold. Keep the faith. And as always, even in the face of insanity, peace. They can't break us. Take care, guys. We'll get them fixed.